Good afternoon to one and all present here. I am Varun Hachmir and I am delighted to welcome you all for today's webinar hosted by Atoll Solutions. Atoll is a leading location intelligence platform company providing reliable and real-time location solutions indoors, inside, and in transit. It is my privilege to introduce our esteemed speaker for today, Mr. Jitendranath. We call him Jitu, CEO and co-founder at Atoll Solutions. He brings with him over 30 years of experience in global technology and business leadership, with a proven track record in ecosystem development, and over 16 years at Texas Instrument as a key leader in business growth. With his wealth of expertise and industry insight, I'm sure the session will be both informative and engaging. Without further ado, I invite Mr. Jitu to take the stage and begin the session. Thank you.
Thank you, Varun. I hope everybody is settled down. Thank you for giving me this opportunity to talk to you. As I've mentioned, Varun mentioned I was in Texas Instruments for a long time before I started this. If you look at Atoll Solutions platform, Kinesis, even though it is a generic platform working for multiple verticals, we always look at a particular vertical, every vertical with very sharp focus. Okay, we started with healthcare as one of the verticals and see that our platform is meeting and beating the need for those verticals. One of the verticals we looked at in the recent past is actually equipment and asset tracking within a lab environment in technology companies. What happens is that if you look at, I don't know how many of you are aware of what all things go inside a lab. I have not worked inside lab for a long time, but I'm very familiar with some of the lab environment. What we did was that we looked at multiple customers and realized that in terms of labs, specifically in India, have a few speciality which is not there in a healthcare or in a warehouse or any of that. Okay. One most important thing I found is that most of the equipments which is required, whether you are doing a mechanical testing, electrical testing, or any of the waveform testing, in anything required for semiconductor or electronics or any other industry, they are all very expensive. That is one part. Second part is that most often they are all imported because of the high cost. Most of the lab import those equipments without paying duty because it is, and you make it such a way that it is bonded warehouse and that it cannot go out in a commercial manner outside. That is one important point. Second point is related to the first one, that when you have very expensive equipment, I don't think any finance will allow you to buy more equipment than what is really required. Okay. Therefore, there is a limited availability and people share equipments. One testing is over, the other person picks it up. And one more thing is that all these equipments and assets, they are not like IP assets like laptop or servers. They are not connected to the IP. If it is not in use, they are almost dead. Okay, you don't know where it is. And one more thing is that any environment you look at these labs, they're all lot of equipments, lot of boards, and most of them are metallic, and then it is crowded. Okay. And one more thing is, as I mentioned, there is a frequent movement of equipment between different areas in a lab, or basically outside a lab, there'll be another lab within the building, or even outside the buildings, they are all moved frequently. Okay. And now if you look at the way they move in most of the places, they are all register based. You write down, you get approval, and then you move. And these are all cumbersome. Okay. If there these are the 4 or 5 things which I noted down. If any of you have seen other problems or other speciality, please write into the chat box. My team will consolidate it and it will be a good learning for all of us. Okay. With that, what are the basic requirement people have in terms of tracking or getting visibility of these assets. Okay, the first one is that which floor is this asset? It is a that much simple thing you want to know. And in the floor, which room is the asset? That is the first thing you want to know. Second one you want to know is that which zone is it? For example, if you are a group, for example, a wireless LAN group is developing something for that particular requirement, you want to know that how much of equipments are there in that area, is that moved around? And in some cases, even table level also, they need to know that which are the I have seen a customer, they specifically want to know two different products are coming out from almost nearby tables, and each one have same equipment used for two different requirements. Okay, that is another one. The next one is that movement detection. What happens is that when you want to know whether an equipment is moved from within a lab or within the building or movement outside the building, all three things they want to know instantaneously. And one more thing is that very important thing is that they want to know how it is moved. Most of the people who move equipments don't know how much expensive it is. They sometimes drop it. What happens is that the whole production or the shipment of the product will get delayed because of some of this careless events. If something like that has happened, we have to make sure that immediately that is informed, so that that equipment is kept aside. You don't know you're testing an equipment or testing your product. Okay. And another important thing is that auditing for bonded warehouse items are very difficult, because anytime customs or anybody can come in. If you have an audit trail which is automatic, it solves a lot of problem for the company. But if you look at it, looking at all of this requirement, we seen that our real-time tracking system, which basic minimum requirement are the visibility of the live equipment visibility. It has to be real time. There is no fun in knowing that something has gone out and if you tell after one day it has gone out, there is no use. And second one is that in easy search and search time, and also basically if you want to assign to somebody, very less downtime of the equipment is very good for improving efficiency. And then we also want to know automatic movement detection. Um, and basically, it will improve productivity by workflow improvement. You don't have any manual process. And then the last one is that the compliance and maintenance. You can even see that when anything goes out for maintenance, automatically it can be managed till it is coming back. These are some of the. With this, I think if you have any questions, please put it in the chat box. We will consolidate everything and answer all the questions. Can I move to the next section? We looked at all these things and realized that Atoll Kinesis, our location intelligence platform, is ideal for this kind of tracking requirement. Okay. A basic introduction of Atoll Kinesis is that it is a sensor to insights location intelligence platform. Okay. What it does is that it provides you real time location information of an asset or an item, and also condition of that item. Condition means there are, for example, if it has fallen down, is it moving, it is stationary, or in some cases, if somebody is working in an environment, other conditions like temperature, humidity, all of them are come through the same platform. And also, our platform allows you to track it indoor, in plant means around the building, and even in transit. Okay. And overall, what happens is that it provides actionable insights, improves productivity. All these things are done with existing IT infrastructure. I will show you some of the examples of IT infrastructure we already work with, so that your capital expenditure to do all this tracking is almost zero. Okay, let me look at and tell that what is the architecture of our platform. It is a four-stage platform, RTLS. People who know RTLS know what it is, but let me explain. The bottommost layer of the um, our platform is the tags. Let me show you some of the tags here. This is a smaller one, that is bigger one. And then it goes to the anchors. Anchors are either our own detection devices with BLE. Mostly we use BLE, and or existing infrastructure like HP Aruba access points or Cisco Meraki access point, and different types of access points. We collaborate with all of them to provide visibility through those access point. Then those data is taken into an edge gateway, which can be in our cloud or on-prem, which will provide the location information and sensor information. And that is consolidated in our middleware. Middleware provides device management as well as a dashboard for managing those, and an API gateway which provides API so that vertically focused application can be built or can be integrated with existing workflow of the customer. API, we have two types of API: RESTful API, as well as we also have streaming API, like WebSocket and Webhook and things like callback APIs. Okay, this is about the platform. And here also, please make sure that any questions you have, please put it on chat box. We will answer at the end of the session. Okay, let me take you to the next one. This is the same platform. How does it look when it is a deployment is done? Unfortunately, this is not a deployment in a lab, but very similar. You can see that very nearby assets are there. That red dots represent asset tags, and the blue dots represent anchors. Anchors can be our own anchor, or it can be a access point from our partner companies like Cisco or Aruba. Okay, and it takes to the edge gateway, same architecture. And if you look at, I talked about our tag. The way it works is that every asset or equipment has to be tagged. You can see some of the tags, and our system works also with people. This is a linear tag. This is a smaller tag which is shown there. And then we also have sticker tag for shipment with limited battery life. And there are thinner tags like this, which will give you 2-3 years of battery life. Still thin for putting into smaller equipments, thinner equipments. This is a six years battery life. Others are all 2 to 3 years of battery life. These are the tags, and because we do everything internally, we can do custom tags for high volume requirement. Okay, these are the and let me show you a very simple video which shows how an asset tracking and condition monitoring happen in our system. Hopefully you can hear.
Atoll Solutions presents demo video on real-time location tracking system. An overview of anchor placements is shown here. Aruba and Meraki access points location.
This is from our office.
Access points that are
it's a small
located
area,
inside the
but
room is
you
shown.
get an idea.
Let's see the working demo of RTLS solution using the Aruba or Meraki access point. This is the Kinesis dashboard that helps user to observe the movement of tags. Let us select two tags, FF7F and FD1E respectively, so that only those tags show in the screen. Let's start. Currently you can see that I am starting from the zone Meraki Northeast. I started moving toward the Meraki Southwest zone, that is inside the room. Observe the tag location is updated to Southwest. Fall detection enabled through sensor tags on Kinesis platform. Observe the event gets updated as soon as the tag is dropped. Thank you. For more
What you're
information,
seeing here is basically anything gets dropped in real time, you get information about that. We talked about in that video, we talked about two of the access points. One is Cisco Meraki and HP Aruba. We also support other important modern access point companies like Juniper Mist, Ruckus, Fortinet, and Extreme Networks. We can support all of them. Okay, that's about our platform. If you look at what happens is that if you talked about when I was showing the demo, demo video, we are talking about a zone which is bigger, room level detection, or a zone level detection. Okay, that is what we can do with existing infrastructure. There is no extra capital expenditure need to be spent to make it happen. Then what happens is that if you want more granularity, for example, you wanted to know a smaller area in a, for example, you have a group which is working in a 2 or 3 tables. You wanted to know what all equipments are getting moved from that to another group in your team. We need more granularity. That is where our anchors come into play. They all work together very well. If it is nearer to our anchor, that gets detected, and it moves to a nearer to another access point, that gets detected. That is shown in this diagram. If you look at this anchor picture is shown. This is our Wi-Fi anchor. Wi-Fi anchor. That Wi-Fi anchor gets data and uses send the data through Wi-Fi through the access point. Same way, even this access point also detects our platform, our system um, um, through the BLE scanners within the access point. That means you have more granularity whichever is nearer. We can tell that it is your assets are nearer to that. Is that clear? Let me go to the next one. Another demo, which I'll show you that. I mentioned that in the lab, some speciality is that some of the tables can be very nearby. Between them, the distance can be very small. What I'm doing is that I'm showing a demonstration in which we kept um, one table which is very nearby. Okay, look at this. We put two anchors very nearby. Look at this. Two anchors very nearby, and one is the one which is on the right side is known as workbench one. Right, that represents. You think that in a table you put one of this anchor, and then there are two items which is kept there with two tags. One is a PCB tray, other one is a power supply. Okay. Now what I'm doing is that I'm taking out. If you look at there on the workbench one, I took the tray, PCB tray towards workbench 2. Within seconds, it has switched to workbench 2. Can you see that? It has switched to workbench 2. Same way we are taking out. That means that the granularity or the accuracy has changed drastically. You can even see that anything moves from one table to the other table nearby, we can detect that in real time. See the other one. Is taking the power supply. You can see the tags attached to that. That also within seconds, it has moved to workbench 2. Okay, here. Look at this. It also says that when it is moving, it went to workbench 2. One is in workbench 1. He's taking the other one also. The moment anybody touches it, it'll tell it is moving. This information is very important as an API when it comes. We also have the same thing available in a map form if it is required. And then you can see that in a much better form in terms of where exactly in a map. Okay, if you look at it, what are the uniqueness of Kinesis to support equipment and asset tracking within a lab in a technology company? Okay, most important thing is that it's a cost-effective solution. Not because we are cheap or we are making something which is lesser quality, because we are designed to make sure that we utilize existing infrastructure, and we also provide different options for technology so that most optimum solution can be selected for a particular application. Okay. Next one is that mapping is a very big, difficult thing in some of these areas. In our solution, complicated mappings are not required. By doing this, we are reducing costs for the customer. Next important thing for all these companies is that um, they need to protect the privacy because they are developing some very, very critical IPs and solutions for their company. They want to make sure that their details or any secrets are not going out. Our platform is designed for that. It works on public cloud with all the protection, and customers cloud or on-prem. It works in all those platforms. And our platform also doesn't take any information about a person or a premises identifier. Because when we look at our tag as it has a unique ID, which is a MAC ID, we do not know where customer has placed that. That only in customer's database, that information will be there. That way, everything is very secure and privacy protected from our side. Another important thing is that Kinesis provides ubiquitous visibility. As I have mentioned, if you are moving from a one of the rooms to the other room, or one table to the other table, one room to the other room, or even coming out of a building, we can detect that. And each of your offices are aligned with or established with our platform. You will immediately detect when it reaches the other office. Okay, that is one. Second one is that it supports sensor overlay for condition monitoring. You have seen it, we can detect fall detection, or you can also detect somebody is not um, uh, transporting or moving items in a good manner. We can detect that. And you have seen everywhere in the demonstration, everything is in real time. And there is not too many platforms which can support this feature set. If you look at some of the unique features we are supporting are track and utilization of and movement of the assets. Because we have history data, we know when an asset has moved, where it has moved, how much time it has used in a particular table. If you have a unique name for that table, you will know that how much time that equipment was utilized. Okay. Second one is that in a very tough conditions, I put a picture which shows even it can be worse than this. Our solution works, and it is proven with our lead customers and others. And we also can detect fall detection of equipment. Um, and next one is that if somebody is removing the tag, that also we can detect. And the auto auditing happens if you are using our platform, because you don't need to run around and look for things in different rooms, look for handheld scanners and run around. None of them are required. It is automatic. Okay. That's the, let me, in terms of the next actions, let me introduce my company. I have a few more minutes. We are a over 10-year-old company. I don't think we are a startup anymore. And we have one unique vision to make location intelligence precise and ubiquitous. And we provide end-to-end solutions. We have multiple patents, and we have very good partnership, like I mentioned, from Cisco and HP Aruba. We have practical experience of deploying solutions for the real market. Okay, this is all I have. In terms of next actions, any of you are interested in this platform to try out for free POC or demonstration of any of them, you can contact us. And I'll just request Varun to look at the questions asked by people, and if you can read it out, I can answer.
Yes, Jitu sir, we have two questions coming in. The first one is, how is BLE different than the RFID in this use case?
Okay, very good question. I think if you look at asset management, typically people use barcode, QR code, or RFID. Okay, what happens is that in the case of RFID, um, you have to go nearby and then read it. Okay, that is one problem. Second problem, if you wanted to use HF RFID, it doesn't allow the readers to read if there are metals around. if you stick on a metal or too much of metal around. I have seen in cases where customers tried high frequency RFID, um, 865 megahertz or whatever RFID, which is used in our um, toll gates. None of them works in a lab kind of environment. But in the case of Bluetooth Low Energy, it is real time and it works in this kind of environment. It is very robust, and then you can utilize the existing infrastructure. This is the main difference. Did I answer the question?
Yes, so there's another question. If my equipment is moved to a different building, then how will you track that?
Yeah, I had briefly mentioned about this in my talk. What happens is that first thing is that using existing infrastructure has advantage, because in lab I can have my anchor as well as existing Wi-Fi infrastructure. But when I'm going out of the corridor, I cannot have anchors placed everywhere. It is expensive. If I'm utilizing the existing infrastructure, the moment somebody takes out an asset and moves out to the corridor and moves towards the exit, I can detect that earlier. Then I can give a warning saying that something is coming out. Is that approved or not approved? Most of the cases it will be approved. There's nothing to worry. If it is not approved, you can catch it before it goes out to the security. The next one is basically is that if we have enabled multiple sites of a same company, the moment this asset moves from this building to the other building, immediately the system will identify that and say that this particular asset has reached here safely, and then it can go to the lab or whichever is the place it is supposed to reach.
Will there be any interference with the equipment, with the tag or the anchor what you're using?
Yeah, yeah. In the case of tag, we use beacon technology, BLE beacon technology. BLE beacon technology uses only four or five small bands that never, we have not seen, even in the written literature, there is no way it says that it can interfere with any of your equipment, because that band is very different from the band you use. Even if you are testing Bluetooth Low Energy in your lab, it will not interfere. That is one. The second one is that our anchors are generally listening devices. They don't send anything out. That way, you keep anywhere anchor. It is only looking for beacon from our tag. And our tag is it is at 0 dBm. I think the power level is very, very low. There is no interference in terms of, and it is safe to use because we are keeping something even more dangerous, our phone, near to us. This is nothing compared to that.
Yes, Jitu sir, that's all the questions we have now.
Anybody has any question, they can unmute and ask. Otherwise, thank you very much for giving this opportunity to talk to you. And anything you need, please contact us. We are happy to help you out.